Hello, my name is Dave Dietrichs, and this is my week 1 assignment for FTH 212's striker fired pistols. This week's assignment, we were asked to pick a firearm that we own legally that we can use. I chose a striker fired pistol, so this is my Sig Sauer P320. It's compact, so magazine is already away from weapon, but we're going to do a safety check. So we're going to go ahead and rack it a few times. As you can see, there's no ammo falling out. So now we're going to lock the slide back. And we can see in the chamber there, put my finger in there as well. I feel no ammunition. Also, magwell, you see daylight through it. Firearm is clear and safe. So once again, as I said, this is a Sig Sauer. It's a manufacturer. The model is a P320X compact. It is a striker fired pistol. So I'm going to set this down for a moment and move on to, you wanted to see a schematic. Well, actually on page 84 of the owner's manual, they do have a schematic or breakdown of, so I have this slide here. I don't have the X series slide, like the X5. They have a breakdown. And then let's move on, as well as a breakdown of the frame and the fire control group and the magazine. So there's my schematic. So once again, pistol went off camera a little bit, so we'll go ahead and clear it again. Slide it forward. Again, finger back in there. No ammo to feel. There's not a cartridge. And we can once again see daylight. So the magwell. Firearm is clear again. Clear and safe. So, some things about this firearm. What tools would I need to break this down? Not very many. Sig Sauer made this firearm very simple to break down. To separate the slide and the frame, what I like to do is twist down on this right here, and it'll go forward. This will unlock, allowing it to separate. That's not to say if I wanted to go deeper into it, I would need some punches. Maybe a small needle nose plier, screwdrivers to gently pry with, or to kind of help get springs compressed or that nature. Precision measurement tools. I could use a feeler gauge on this if I really wanted to know tolerances between like the frame and the slide. Any of the trigger parts, really, I'm sure I could get measurements. Can't really see them, they're down in there. Yeah, I could use that. A caliper if I wanted, let's say, get the outside diameter of the barrel, or if I wanted to get the inner diameter of the barrel, I could use a caliper. I could use that to measure the diameter inside here. Anywhere that needed a diameter measurement, I could use that. I could use head spacing gauges, obviously, to make sure that our headspace is alright. So those are multiple things. A trigger pull gauge, I can use that as well. If I was doing like a trigger job, I want to know my starting measurements. There's probably more, but just for the sake of time, we're going to move on. So, what are some parts that easily get lost? Any of the springs, there's some small pins. To prevent that from happening, kind of just gently release them, don't let them go flying. And I typically have a tray near me that I can put stuff in, that way I don't lose it. Some parts that take finesse, so actually back here, the striker, so I have taken this apart before, this always does kind of take some finesse because it is under spring tension, and as soon as you remove this back plate, it wants to come flying out. So you gotta kind of finesse it out and back in. So that's kind of pushing, applying pressure to get this plate back on. Frustrating area. So once again, it's gonna be back here in the striker. This can be very frustrating to put back together. The fire control group does have some, like the springs down there. There are some frustrating springs. To put back together. Overall, though, this pistol's not it's not highly complicated. There's not, if you look at every component, there's barrel assembly, recoil spring with the rod, slide, fire control group, and the frame, like breaking it down. That, I mean, there are a lot of smaller moving parts that make up the fire control group or the striker. So I'd say it's not highly complicated, but it can be, depending on how far you're going into the job. But I'm going to go ahead and set this down. I'm running out of time here. I believe I covered everything for this assignment. Thank you for listening, and so this is my week 1 assignment for FTH 212 striker fired pistols.